Hi, this is Kevin Trainer, and I'd like to welcome you to my tutorial demo for the Java class WedgieMachineGun. Okay, and the WedgieMachineGun is a demo program for Chapter 3, and in the Reggie's and Step book. And in Chapter 3, the first thing we learn how to do is how to take a solution that we already have and to package up that solution in a method and parameterize the method so that we are able to exert some control over the behavior of the method on each invocation by passing a parameter to the method. And so here in Eclipse, I've got a project for the Chapter 3 demos, and I'm going to create a new class, and I'm going to call it WedgieMachineGun. Okay, and I'm going to give it a name. All right. So, what is WedgieMachineGun going to do? Well, it's going to have a method that does essentially what we were doing in the demo from the last chapter. We had one called $Wedgie, and it printed out a triangle or a wedge of dollar signs of a particular size. Okay, so let's take a look at that. I'm going to go back to my Chapter 2 demo, and I'm going to find $Wedgie, and I'm going to open it up. And there it is. So there's my $Wedgie, and I'm going to run it again, and I'm going to reacquaint you with what $Wedgie does. So it does a wedge of dollar signs from starting with the longest line to the smallest. So it starts out with 10 and then it goes all the way down to 1. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take that code and I want to take it out of the main where it currently exists in $Wedgie, and I want to put it into a method that I'm able to call in my new program. All right, so how could I do that? Well, I'm just going to take the code that's inside of the main, okay? So I don't want the top line that declares the main, and I don't want this closing curly brace either. So I just want the 4, okay? We get the 4, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say copy. And here we're going to see now I can copy from project to project. Oh, that's good. So I'm going to go to my Chapter 3 demo project, and I'm going to work in WedgieMachineGun, which I already have open in the editor. So here's my WedgieMachineGun. Okay, and I've got some code that I'm ready to paste into a method, but I don't have the method skeleton put together yet. So what's that going to be? Well, public static void, and I'm going to call this fire wedgie. So it fires wedgies because it's sort of like a gun of sorts. Okay, and I'm going to give it an opening curly brace, and then when I hit return, I'm going to get a closing curly brace. So fire wedgie is going to create one wedgie on the console. Now I'm just going to paste that code. Even though it comes for another project, it works just fine. I'm going to paste it into Fire Wedgie. Okay. All right, so that looks good. So Fire Wedgie is great. You will notice that I'm not calling it from the main yet. So if we ran the main, we would get no behavior at all. And let's just confirm that just for grins. So we're going to save this, run it for the first time, run as Java application. And we just didn't get anything on the console at all because the only thing in main is a comment. Well, we need to put some action in there. So I'm going to delete the comment and I'm just going to call Fire Wedgie. So I'm going to type in Fire Wedgie paren semicolon to end this statement. All right, so what am I going to expect? Well, I'm going to expect to run it and get one wedgie of size 10. Let's see it. Run. There it is. So there's my wedgie of size 10. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's parameterize Fire Wedgie such that it can create a wedgie of any size. Okay, so let's see how that works. So we control the size of the wedgie with the variable I in the for loop. And so it starts out at 10 and then it goes back so long as it's greater than or equal to 1, it will do the work in the body of the loop, which is what prints out the wedgie line, okay, or the line of dollar signs. Okay, so this is the value we want to parameterize. So how could we do this? Well, let's pass in the formal parameter here is going to be an int, because we wanted to do a whole number of times. So we're going to have int. Okay. And I'm going to give it a name like requested size. Okay. All right. And now, instead of saying I equal 10, we're going to say I equals requested size. Okay, so that's using that parameter name there. Okay, and now all of a sudden our call to our invocation of the method, it lights up as an error because we're not passing an integer value as a parameter. So let's just say 10. That's what we were doing before. Okay, so if we say Fire Wedgie with the 10, well then it looks like we're going to get just what we need. Okay, we're going to get the same behavior that we got before. We're going to get a wedgie, a dollar wedgie of size 10. So let's do that. Let's save and run. Okay, that looks pretty good. So it turns out that if you count these, there are 10. It goes all the way down to 1. That's terrific. Okay. So we've got that. Now let's do a little experimenting. Let's make sure that we can ask for various size wedgies and we're going to get what we want. Okay? So let's try a big number like 30. All right. So we're going to ask for a wedgie of size 30 and run it. And it went by pretty fast, but there it is. There's a wedgie of size 30. That's terrific. Goes all the way down to 1. Okay. So we can do large ones. They work fine. Let's try a wedgie of size 5. Save. Run. Okay, so the top line has 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's great. Let's try a wedgie of size 1. That should get us just one line with $1 sign. Let's see if that's what we get. Yeah, that's good. What if we ask for a wedgie of size 0? Well, does it do something reasonable? And I'm going to say that it will. Okay? Because when we run it, we get no dollar signs on the line at all, because what has just happened here in the for loop, okay, we failed the test the first time through. So we never did the work in the body of the for loop, okay, because we came in and we said I equals requested size, which is 0. So I is 0. And then we run the test. I is greater than or equal to 1. It fails that test. So it doesn't do the work in the body. And then it immediately prints out the new line, which gives us a blank line. So we really got a wedgie of size 0. Now I'm just going to fool around. What would happen if I asked for a wedgie of size -5? Okay. Well, it's going to get me the same as the wedgie of size 0. And that's okay with me. I mean, that's reasonable behavior. If we're asking for 1 or greater, then we get the wedgie of the appropriate size. If we ask for 0 or less, then we get a blank line. Well, that's pretty reasonable behavior as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so fire wedgie seems to be going well. Okay, now let's talk about this machine gun aspect of things. Okay, a single shot gun, you fire once and it shoots. Okay, well, the idea of a machine gun is it fires over and over again. Well, how could we do that? Well, let's just put the code in main that has the call to fire wedgie. Let's just put that in a for loop, so we can show repeated firing, repeated calling of fire wedgie. Okay, so how can we do this? Well, you can just code the for loop around it, or we can say, we can highlight that line and we can right click, go to source, oh no, sorry, run under source, surround with, and let's just pick, well, it says for iterate over array. That's the closest thing. We don't have a proper array yet, but it'll construct a for loop for us. Okay. Okay, so we're using the variable I again, okay, to control the for loop. And of course, we're using that inside of fire wedgie as well. And the uninitiated might say, oh, well, that's a problem, because we're already using I down here. We can't use it up here. But I just want to point out that these are local variables. In fact, the variables, the variable I is only known within the for loop in main, okay? And the variable I down here in fire wedgie is only known within the outer for loop in fire wedgie. And so they have different scopes. So we can use I again. All right. So then let's say the test here. I don't like that test. Okay. Let's say we want to do this 10 times. So we're going to say that I is less than or equal to 10. Okay. So we're counting up. And then let's say that the size of wedgie that we want will be the same as I. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, the first time we call, we're going to say fire wedgie 1, then fire wedgie 2, then fire wedgie 3, all the way to fire wedgie 10. Then when we add one more to this I up here and it goes to 11, then it's going to fail the test and not call fire wedgie with 11. It's just going to end. So I'm going to expect to see 10 wedgies, one after the other, the first one being just a wedgie 1, and then the second one being a wedgie 2, and then the next one being a wedgie 3, all the way to wedgie 10. So let's give it a save and give it a run. And let's double click on the console so we can see them all. And let's see what we got. So we got a wedgie 1 and a wedgie 2 and a wedgie 3 and a wedgie 4 all the way down to wedgie 10. Okay? Now, just want to review what we did here. The code, excuse me, that we put into fire wedgie was really pretty much the code that we'd already developed in our last set of demos when we did $wedgie. Okay, and all we did is that we put that code into a method, gave it an appropriate name for printing out a wedgie, fire wedgie, and we parameterized it. So we passed in an int parameter, requested size, and we used that parameter name in the for loop to control the for loop. Okay, great. And then we called fire wedgie. We began by calling it just one time, and we asked for 10 like we originally had in $wedgie. And lo and behold, same behavior. Then we wanted to make good on the promise of a machine gun. So hence WedgieMachineGun. So we put the call to fire wedgie into a for loop, and then we counted 1 through 10, and we called fire wedgie 10 times with the integers 1 through 10, and we got a series of wedgies out on the console. Okay, so this is the basic skill of parameterizing a method. Okay, we take a method that we've already mastered how to do one time in a fixed way, and we parameterize it so every time we call it, we do it one time in a customized way, and that's parameterizing a method. So I'm going to save that, and I'm just going to test it one more time. It's already saved, and it's running just fine. And that's it for WedgieMachineGun. I'm going to say bye until next time. Bye-bye.